T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's T.A.G shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
Welcome to another installment of the T.A.G tier list. Now, gonna have to excuse me for a second because my voice is going out from all the hollering and screaming I did from almost losing my championship. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Clearly, I'm lying. I was at the Renfest and then I lost my voice, basically screaming and hollering and everything that was going on.
I'm about to
and
say,
the fact
like,
that I got
what
rained
you
on.
doing at Renfest to lose your voice? Because I still have never been. I know. But what were you doing at Renfest that almost made you lose that voice?
Nah, technically, it's really just the rain. I mean, we got rained on. It's walking around and it just.
Yeah, it did get.
I think it rained like four different times.
Yeah,
it did. And
I was trying to
when
barbecue. So I know the feeling.
Well, the thing is like when you're there, you're kind of just ingrained and enthralled in whatever's going on. So it's like whatever happens. So
makes sense.
You just have fun.
You just drove out that way, and that distance.
Yes.
You're not driving that far. I just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna come back home.
And then turn around now because again that drive because you spend especially from where the drive yesterday was maybe like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And on top of that, factor in the traffic getting there. And then all the walking around. So it's like, nah, you're not turning around.
The sky water is not gonna stop me.
I'm gonna start saying that sky water.
The sky water, that's what it's that sky water.
Now, with all the tier lists that we have done for all of you people that either have seen it or haven't seen it, they've been pretty extensive. This is going to be one of the few ones that's a bit shorter because today we're doing the European Championship for WWF/WWE. And it's one of the, and I can say this with full confidence, it's one of the most underrated and overrated titles at the same time, depending on which spectrum you look at it from. Because in certain cases, especially with me going through and doing the stats for this, it's one of those titles that can easily make a person, but then it's also one of those titles that literally just sat on whoever it was convenient for at the time. And when we go through these stats, you're going to see it because it surprised me when I was doing, because I was like, the way that we grew up in, Attitude Era, pre-Attitude Era, post-Attitude Era, when this belt was in its inception, we noticed that, a lot of people either had the belt or there was a long reign with like 0 defenses or very few defenses to where that belt could have easily just been a prop. And it's ironic that I say that because that video that you sent with Rikishi talking about what Vince Russo said. And
hey, shout out to Big Keish because he's throwing the Vince Russo's ass. If you have not seen the video of Rikishi addressing Vince Russo essentially saying Jey Uso was being emotional for having the Intercontinental Championship and it was like a prop, Rikishi tore into Russo's ass. But to kind of piggyback off of what you just said, the European Championship was kind of one of those weird ideas they had because they had such an influx of wrestlers at that time. And it wasn't a bad idea because it was like a companion piece to the Intercontinental Championship. Just like how now you have Intercontinental on Raw and United States on SmackDown. I think in all honesty, I don't know if you're going to agree with me, I think the talent who had the championship made the championship relevant.
Yes.
Because just like how the 24/7 championship was fun, but if it wasn't for truth, nobody would never gave a damn about that 24/7 championship. Truth is the reason why that 24/7 championship became what it became. I mean, hell,
Yes.
we can even say the hardcore championship. The hardcore championship was fine, but when Crash Holly got it, that's when it was like, nah, I'm trying to see what the adventures of Crash Holly about to be like. So with the European Championship, it did turn into a whomever had it actually made it what it was. Because if they would have really gave it to some just people, we wouldn't be doing this list.
Well,
like, let's just
now
perspective.
To piggyback off the piggyback,
Yeah,
I will say this. I think probably one of the most important things, and I could be wrong in me assuming this, but I think how the European Championship was used back then is the way that all these mid-card titles are being used now. Because if you look at how the Intercontinental Championship was the workhorse title, it was just, hey, we want to make sure that the matches that we have for this title are better than the world title. Whereas when the European Championship was introduced, it became that one thing to where if you put it on a certain wrestler, it would be the make or break thing to see if they were going to go up the card or if they were just going to go to the wayside. And so it seems like, and when we look at this, anybody who had it, you can kind of tell the trajectory that they went to, whether they went up or they went down on the card based on how they handled said belt.
I can see that.
And then, of course, within its disappearance, would it be swallowed up into the unification match with the Intercontinental Championship, to where it just died at that point. I think I would have liked to have seen it come back at a certain point, but it is what it is. But
yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. I mean, it had its run. It did what it was supposed to do, because like you said, so I'm pretty sure, because since I don't remember everybody, but I'm pretty sure some of the names we're gonna see probably some people who probably has a pretty nice little standing with the history of wrestling. So it makes sense.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to our first European champion on the list. And again, we're going backwards like we did the last one, because there's a reason why we want to go backwards with the level of champions that we have on this list. But first up, we have Mr. Sean Waltman, X-Pac, who had, of course, he had 2 reigns, spanning from the first reign, which was September 15th, 1998 to September 29th, 1998. Second reign was October 18th, 1998 to February 15th of 1999. Now, with him, both reigns spanned from 134 days. Notable defenses: Taka Michinoku, Mark Henry, Tiger Ali Singh, Al Snow, and Gangrel. Now, with good old Sean Waltman, he's somebody that, growing up and then watching X-Pac, we would see he would always either have the European Championship or lightweight championship. And it seemed to fit him during that time, especially when you had the new iteration of DX, where Triple H was technically going for the Intercontinental Championship at that point, because he had graduated from the European Championship, because when he within the first iteration of DX, Triple H ended up getting that European Championship off Shawn Michaels. And that's kind of what I meant earlier, where I said it seems like that's kind of where it would make or break depending on which way you would go. And I think Triple H, what he was doing at the time, seemed to help him just enough to where him having that rub from Shawn Michaels elevated him to the point to where, okay, new leader of DX, going for the Intercontinental Championship all the way to the World Championship. And for X-Pac, it's a weird situation, because he has all the talent in the world to where it should work for him. But this is one of the situations where, to me, it did feel like a prop, but at the same time, it didn't. It was just like middle of the road for me.
Okay, before we get into it, for those that are new here, we have 5 rankings, as you can see.
Oh, that's right.
We got Dumpster Juice, Rain Over Too Soon, did more for the title than it did for them, in the conversation, and Best of the Best. Now, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. This is not to talk about the wrestler themselves. We have some certified legends on this list. It's not to talk about the wrestlers in a bad way or in a besmirching way. It's only talking about them as that champion.
Yes.
We're not talking about the wrestler as whole, just them with said title. And as you can see, Dumpster Juice, trash. Why even have it? Rain Over Too Soon. They could have cooked with it. They let them cook a little bit. They could have cooked with it. Did more for the title than it did for them. You know, maybe they had a superstar name attached to them. They wanted just to pad a record, just to pad a stat. In the conversation, hey, they did pretty good with the title. You know, the title reign is enjoyable. And Best of the Best, when it comes to the European Championship, D'Lo Brown. That's like the examples. D'Lo Brown. Kind of like how I said earlier, 24/7 championship. R-Truth, Intercontinental Championship. Miz, Chris Jericho, people like that. When we did the United States Championship, you know, those names. The world title, you know, Stone Cold's, Undertaker's, Rocks, you know, the ones that it was like, nah, that was their championship.
Yeah.
So now X-Pac. So funny enough, I do remember him with the European Championship more than I really remember him with the light heavyweight. If I'm being honest. And frankly, everything you were saying with X-Pac, it really does make me want to put him in the conversation. Because I'm gonna say X-Pac has always, if you look at him as 1, 2, 3 Kid, X-Pac, 6, Shawn Waltman, whatever, he always had the talent and always had the charisma. But unfortunately, when, you know, whatever entity we want to believe in created us, he nerfed a lot of Shawn Waltman stats. Because if you truly see Shawn Waltman, he's not the most physically imposing person, but he seems like one of the most nicest, genuine people you could meet. And anytime he was truly given something, he did it. If you really look at his career, from 1, 2, 3 Kid all the way up, anything they tasked him to do, he did. If you want to know the formula to Dominic Mysterio, it came from X-Pac. The term X-Pac heat came from the fact that people was just so anti-X-Pac at one point for just whatever reason. Now, don't get me wrong, Dom has definitely taken that formula and really ran with it. But for some reason, when X-Pac was tasked with something, people really just didn't take to it like they should have. And it's the weirdest thing. Because it wasn't like he was trash. It wasn't like it was just, I don't know. He just really, truly always caught bad breaks to me.
You know what? Because you bring up a point. I want to ask this. Do you think that the whole episode of Triple H to himself graduating from DX and having that promo with Jim Ross saying, I don't need DX anymore, I don't need to do this anymore, and him just wanting to go for the world title, do you think that a byproduct of that was X-Pac getting almost like the brunt of like the failure of it? Because New Age Outlaws were okay.
So I'm gonna put it this way: if we take a look at WWE wrestling as a whole, and we look at different archetypes, and trust me, we're spending longer on X-Pac than we really should, but it's actually an interesting conversation. But if you look at the archetype of wrestling, there are people who's going to get over. There are people who have catchphrases. There are people who are going to get over on wrestling. If you look at Triple H looks like a star. Regardless of how you feel, Triple H looks like a main eventer. If you look at the New Age Outlaws, once again, that formula, what did the New Age Outlaws have that no other tag team at that time had?
Well, with Road Dogg, Mike Skills, the charisma.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X probably brings to you the tag team champions of the world. And when the music hit, oh, you didn't know? They had a catchphrase. Why do you think Enzo and Cass was so over? My name is Enzo Amore, and I'm a certified G and a bona fide study. You can't teach. So X-Pac had none of that. He didn't have a catchphrase. He didn't have a superstar look. Unfortunately, X-Pac. Because you got to think, the most over X-Pac truly got was when he teamed with Kane. Because once again, he's a bad product of bad breaks. Once again, NWO, he fit with the group. Those are the homies. But once again, you got Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and then you had so many damn members coming in and out. Once again, oh shit, hey, X-Pac is sorry, Six is there. Okay. Six, cool. He always caught a bad break.
You know what it is? And this is exactly because what you're saying is actually perfect, because how you said that he just doesn't have X factor, because that's when he was winning the light heavyweight championship. So, lightweight championship. So the moment that happened, where he was supposed to be a leader of his own group, and it didn't go anywhere. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So
he always caught a bad break.
Okay.
But to me, in the conversation,
I can put him there, because I wouldn't put him any higher than that, because it would either be that or did more for the title than it did for him.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. Next up.
Hey, you should clip that X-Pac and just make it its own separate video, because that was a whole deep dive. We literally did a whole little mini deep dive in the X-Pac. That was kind of amazing.
I just might, because it's something that probably needs to be talked about.
And but once again, I have always had love for him. But William
Regal, 4 reigns. First one, October 16, 2000 to December 2nd, 2000. Second, December 4th, 2000 to January 22nd, 2001. Next one was March 19th, 2002 to April 8th, 2002. And then his final reign was May 6th, 2002 to July 8th, 2002. Total days as champ, 179. Notable defenses: Al Snow, Perry Saturn, Road Dogg, Gangrel, Hardcore Holly, Tajiri, D'Lo Brown, Bradshaw, and Tommy Dreamer. This is William Regal.
This is going to be my bias, but you know where to put William Regal.
Oh, see,
okay.
William Regal. William Regal has the reign that I believe British Bulldog should have had Shawn Michaels not intervened with his title reign.
Facts.
And I know, look, and I'm a Shawn Michaels stan, just like I'm a Triple H stan. But what he did with the European Championship, and you will see with these stats as well, is it makes no sense. Because again, Shawn Michaels held the European Championship while he was world champion.
He did. He damn sure did. Memory unlocked. He damn sure did.
But either way, that's our first best of the best, and it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody.
William Regal has been that man truly has my undying respect and loyalty. No matter what he did, he's always done it. Whether he had to kiss McMahon's ass, whether he had to be part of Booker's court, whether he was the man's man. Yep, I'm taking it back. Whether he was the man's man, when he was Lord Steven Regal in WCW, whether he was the best GM to ever grace TV as the GM of NXT. Hell, just seeing his aura this past Tuesday when he was Lexus King corner man, it was like, damn, I miss Reeks on TV. Hell, even his short stint in AEW, that man is living legend. No disrespect to Larry Zbyszko.
And you know what? Along with the X-Pac stuff, we might have to do a deep dive on William Regal as well, because there's been some injustices done to William Regal where he could have easily been a world champion in WWE.
Totally.
But we'll get to that at some point. Next up,
let me give your voice a rest, and I'll read the stats for everybody else. Hello, ladies. We got the big Val Venis, one reign, December 12th, 1999 to February 8th of 2000. Total days, 58. Notable defenses, Steve Blackman, D'Lo Brown, and Edge. Now, what makes this man so interesting, because the human being definitely belongs in dumpster juice. Though he has his opinions, and whether you see his opinions valid or not, the human being himself, but Val Venis, the character, wasn't bad. For those who are unfamiliar, he was an adult film star who became a wrestler. And, his finisher was called the money shot, which was coincidentally a splash from the top rope. I vaguely remember the Big Valboski as European champion. So if you remember, wherever you decide to place him, I'll be fine with
it. For me, it's smack dab in the middle, because and this is probably going to be the same thing with a lot of guys, is that because of how the Attitude Era was at the time, there were way more characters than there were wrestlers, because you could easily pinpoint the in-ring performers like very easily. And that's not to say that these guys were bad by any stretch of the imagination, but everything was more character focused than anything. And I think with him, it's kind of the same thing with Godfather. You put the Intercontinental Championship on Godfather and it's entertaining. So I would say, as a character, even though he had the strap, it, did more for the title than it did for him, because he didn't go any further than the Intercontinental Championship himself. So, and even that reign was fairly short. So, next up,
we got
Mr.
that boy
Test.
May he rest in peace. He had one reign from January 22nd of 01 to April Fool's Day of 01. Total days, 69. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Notable defenses, 1 with William Regal. Man, that boy had a Judgment Day style reign. Had the belt for almost 70 days and defended it once. I see where Logan Paul got it from. Once again, this was something that I do not, for some reason, I really don't remember, like, seeing the list of people here. And it's like, I'm pretty sure if I go back and watch, I'm like, oh, I remember. But I really do not remember a test. This must have been the corporate days. The corporation days.
During that, wait, let me see what the dates were. Oh, nah, this was past that.
It was past that? Okay. Damn, really only one defense?
Well,
not one defense, but one notable defense.
Yeah. So the thing is with Test, and I'm, for reference, I'm going to put Test in Reign Over Too Soon. And this is with Test with all of his titles. Test, almost in the same boat as X-Pac. But in turn with him, he never got a chance to cook. I don't know if it was either because he didn't have the mic skills or they just never let him flourish the way that he should have. Because if you think about with Tess
should have been way bigger than what he should have been.
Now, could this have been a byproduct of the Triple H and Stephanie effect?
Yes. I mean, the unfortunate thing is when we look at wrestling once again as a whole, there are some people we see that are meant to be superstars.
Yes.
And there are some people they push to be superstars. And that's where the sink or swim, fight or flight works. And the problem is with Tess, though he was ascending, things kind of got in the way that kind of, like, well, unfortunately, this is your ceiling at the moment. You're supposed to be past it, but unfortunately, other people kind of ascended. We didn't expect this guy to kind of take off the way he did, and this person is kind of coming back. They cooking. So that's what makes wrestling so weird at times, because you can clearly look at people and be like, damn, how did they not become this or that? Like the one we put at the best of best. It's like, damn, William Regal was never a world champion.
Yeah. And I think during that time too, it was so cutthroat in terms of like the talent that was there, to where it was hard for you to even, with the Stone Colds and the Rocks and everything like that, you had a number of people that were being looked at and was like everybody's favorite. And so you had guys that could have been promoted to be something good, but you just aren't as good as the people that's being promoted at this time. So, but yeah, for me,
I would reign over too soon. Yeah.
This is funny. Next,
we got that boy Spike Dudley, or in his TNA days, Brother Runt. He had one reign from April 8th of 02 to May 6th of 02. Total days 28. Notable defenses: Goldust and William Reeves. I totally do not remember Spike Dudley having that European Championship.
I like how it seems like we're just like going straight down the list and actually getting every slot filled, because I can't look. I'm cool with everybody getting like, because Spike Dudley, I mean, when he came in, they were pretty much going off of, his ECW days where he was the giant killer and stuff like that. That's cool, and then him being, part of the Dudleys and shit like that. Like, yeah, fine. But this is one of those situations where you clearly had a bunch of smaller guys in certain areas for a reason. And maybe they were trying to, test and see, where they were going to go and if they can give whoever what. But Spike Dudley never did it for me. And this is just a personal thing on me. It just never worked for me.
Because you know what it is? WWE at that time, they focused so much on large people. And hence why people like Spike and people like X-Pac, they look so weird, because they was definitely putting Spike in these situations where it was like, why are y'all punishing this dude for going against these large ass humans that damn well he ain't about to do nothing against? But hey, but
I'm here for the underdog, but I think they either just wanted so badly to create either the next X-Pac or the next Rey Mysterio in WWE, to where you're going to try to, and you can't. You already have a Jeff Hardy and an X-Pac already, and you're good. You can't
have a replacement when the original is still there.
Yeah. and here we go.
All right, we got the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. One reign from September 20th, 97 to December 11th of 97, total days 82. Notable defenses, because in a very infamous match with his stablemate, that's how he lost it. I will say this, and once again, this could be the same bias that I have towards William Reeves. It's hard to put Shawn Michaels with any title anything less than best of the best, because the formula of him having 2 championships and 2 different championships has been used with multiple people.
Yes. Here's my thing. So I could easily put Shawn in dumpster juice for this title. However,
it's totally understandable.
However, he had the title around the time of the inception of the original D-Generation X. So part of this made sense because a lot of his defenses were like DQs and stuff like that. So he didn't really have like breakout match at the same time. During that title reign, he did end up winning the world championship. So then that became the focus, which is why Slaughter ended up putting the match between him and Triple H for the European title, because to basically get it off of him. So, and that's how that should happen. But
I mean, wherever we decide to put him is fine. But I'm just saying, Shawn is great at doing Shawn things. That's why I was only saying because of best of the best, because he used it as, look at me, I'm European champion, even though I don't give a shit about this belt, but I'm European and world champion. Who's fucking with you, boy? Because they did the same thing with Seth Rollins. When Seth Rollins had the world title and the US title, though he lost the US title the next month. I mean, hell, Becky Lynch, Becky 2 belts, Roman Reigns when he had both belts. So we see that the formula in some way, I mean, hell, even when they did the whole Undisputed, when Jericho was the first and he had both belts, the formula has been used throughout history.
I'm cool with putting them smack dab in the middle, just because I think this with the DX and then Shawn Michaels, him doing stuff for the title, it helped the title because it got on Triple H after that, and then it kind of just went its own way. And I think, because after it got on Triple H, I think this is when we had a lot of these other reigns that we have on this list. So I'll take it. Now, Scoot, this is gonna be all you because this is your favorite. This is your favorite.
The boy, it's the best in the world. Here comes the money. Shane O'Mac. We got that boy Shane McMahon with 1 reign from February 15th of 99 through June 21st of 99. Total days 126. Notable defenses: Gilbert and that boy X-Pac. And then we got that boy Juggernaut finally entering in what it is.
What it is, guys.
I'm gonna say this. Biases aside for Shane O'Mac, I am totally fine with in the conversation or did more, only because he purely had that belt just to be a dick. Just to be a dick. And it was like him coming out week after week, and it was like, get that title off of Shane McMahon. It's almost akin to when Vince had the ECW championship. It was like, get that title off of Vince.
Yeah, man, you can't hate on Do-Rag Vince, man.
No, Do-Rag Vince is something special. Do-Rag Vince, that's a case study. That's a case study.
And see, this I'm not putting Shane in the conversation. I can't.
No, I'm totally fine with doing more.
I'm with Dizzle there. Yeah, I can't put him in the conversation.
I can do more. I can put him in did more because of the fact that it's a storyline thing. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. So I'm fine with that because he definitely didn't have a reign that was over too soon. And I can't say that his shit was dumpster juice because at least with Shane actually is somebody who's not a typical wrestler who actually goes up. You know what? You know what it is with Shane? I think Shane is like the prototype for a Logan Paul.
Yes. Yes. I 1000% agree. 1000%.
So I'll take
1000. Yeah.
All right. Well, then from Shane, we go to the next person who actually is the last holder of the European Championship.
We got the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam, RVD, one reign, July 22nd of 02 to July 22nd of 02. Total days, goose egg, and notable defenses, not a damn person.
Now, the reason for this is because this was where they they unified both the Intercontinental and the European Championship. So anything that happened with this is what pretty much translated over to his Intercontinental Championship reign. So
do you remember where we put RVD in the Intercontinental?
I do not remember. Hold on. Let me see.
If you remember where we put him there, I feel like he should be roughly around there now.
I can
Reign was over too soon.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You know what? I can probably tell you that we probably had him probably either in the conversation or at the top because his stats.
Because they trusted him to unify the belts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally fine with either best of the best or in the conversation because of that aspect.
I would put him in the conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perry got that boy Perry Saturn minus Mafia with one reign from July 23rd of 2000 to August 29th of 2000. Total days 37. Notable defenses: Crash Holly, Dean Malenko, and Al Snow. I don't remember Perry Saturn with this belt, so y'all can take it away.
Yeah, I don't remember either, to be honest.
So this was around the time where they started to basically hot potato the championship.
Okay.
And so this is one of the main reasons why a lot of the reigns are either very short or just single reigns altogether, because kind of what we were talking about earlier, Scoot, where they're trying to test the waters to see who's going to go either up the card or down the card.
Okay.
And this is one of the situations where Perry Saturn, who, of course, with all of his talent, he's just not somebody who in WWE he could really get over. Because if you think about all the radicals, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, and Perry Saturn himself, really only two of those guys out of the radicals really went up the card.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Dean Malenko, I don't know if it's because they looked at him as being too small during that time, because they only slotted him.
It's that same time frame we had with it when we said about everybody else. Yes, he was looked at as too small.
And then with Perry Saturn was in like the Taz predicament where he had the build, but he was much shorter, so he didn't look like an imposing force to everybody else like he would in a WCW. So for him, he can't be anything less, or he can't be anything more than reign over too soon, if anything, because
that's fine.
He's either gonna have to be that or dumpster juice.
I mean, wherever you decide to slot him, I'm okay with. And once again, to reiterate, we are not talking about the wrestler personally.
And wasn't it during this time like where they were hot potato title with like Chris Benoit and the person who we should not name, Eddie Guerrero, and who else? Weren't they flip flopping the title all with them guys?
Well, not with this one. Now Eddie Guerrero did get he did get the European Championship around that time too. But I think this was also during the time where Perry was doing that whole thing with Terry.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Where he was and at the same time when he was wearing that big ass pink hat. So you know what? I'm gonna give him.
Put it right next to Spike Dudley, big dog. I'm gonna put it right next to Spike. But the moment you mentioned that pink hat and everything, don't put him right next to Spike Dudley.
Hey man, you gonna hate on the pink hat too, man? That's messed up.
I ain't
That's
hating on the
messed
pink
up.
hat. It's just
He's always saying he's not Jake Hager. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's my favorite
right.
hat.
Next up, we got the legendary Owen Hart. May he rest in peace. He had one reign from January 20th of 98, ended March 16th, 316 coincidentally, of 98. Total days 55. Who the fuck is wait, whoops?
Who?
Is Jesus Castillo?
Who? We need that. We need like a sound thing that says who. You know, like
Whoops is that?
I have to go Google this
Now-
guy. I don't even know who the fuck he is.
Here, I'm about to slot Owen Hart where he needs to be slotted, and then I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
Yeah, please explain.
Now, Owen Hart, the reason why his match, his defense, well, only real defense was against Jesus Castillo. And I believe that was either, I think that was the Saturday night main event. Because all of his defenses, every single one outside of that one, ended in DQ.
Interesting. Was this Kim Cornette days?
Let's see.
Or was this after that?
This was, I believe, no. Wait. This was, I think.
No, it had to be after Kim Cornette.
I think this was this should have been during the Hart Foundation days.
Okay.
Yes, because this is around because he had beat Triple H for the title.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah. Again, right during that time, Hart Foundation was kind of floundering because they focused more on the tag titles between him and British Bulldog. Brett was busy feuding with Shawn Michaels as well as Stone Cold, so it was more focused on the faction than anything.
Yeah.
And then they were the heels, so it made sense. But at the same time, him holding that title, unfortunate. So yeah, it hurts me to do it, but at the same time, hey, Mideon.
All right. Another wrestler that I did forget in my what happened to this wrestler, because what happened to Henry O. Godwin? Or was he Phineas I. Godwin? I think he was Henry.
I think it was Henry. Yeah, I believe you're right.
What did happen to Henry O. Godwin? You know, aka Hall. But we have Mideon, and at one point he was naked Mideon. Let's not speak on that. One reign, June 21st of 99 through July 25th of 99, total days 34, and no notable defenses. And you know where that's gonna put you, big dog?
And the dumpster juice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready for Matthew?
We got that boy Matthew Hardy, one reign, April 24th of 01 through August 27th of 01. Total days 125. Notable defenses is a who's who. We got the current turtleneck guard, Christian.
You're finally on your own.
Legendary Eddie Guerrero. You think you know me, Edge, X-Pac, Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. Whatever happened to K Quick? I think I mentioned K Quick in that video. And we have that boy just incredible. Because he was just incredible. Hey, considering what I'm looking at here, Matthew might have to go up there next to Regs.
I have to
Unless
put him
you
in
have
the
a rebuttal.
conversation,
Unless y'all have a rebuttal, but Matthew might got to go up there to Regs.
So this was, and he's either going to go in one of the two, because this was around the time where they were trying to decipher which Hardy was going to be like the star.
Okay.
And they really wanted to push Matt. Because this was
an
when
older brother.
yeah, kind of what they were doing with Edge at the time too. But now, could this have been something that made him bigger? I believe so, but I think it was more so because of the Edge and Lita stuff that ended up happening, where it propelled Edge this way.
Yeah.
And even if you look at Matt Hardy now with the creative mind that he has, he could have been bigger sooner. Because if you look at the version 1 stuff, that's all him. And I think that it would have benefited way more because he was on the trajectory to be bigger than a Jeff Hardy. Undertaker made Jeff Hardy, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, yes, 1000%.
So, and I think this also goes into what we were talking about with the United States Championship, where we talked about with MVP and how it worked out so well for both of them. I want to put in the conversation, but against my better judgment, I have to put him here.
Oh, baby. Matthew.
Because of the fact that he is somebody else who's also synonymous with the European Championship at that time. Because he should have been bigger than he is because of this. So that's just my opinion. If y'all want to drop him down, we absolutely can.
I'm totally fine.
Yeah, me too.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Well, if anything,
oh, is that sexual chocolate down there?
We got sexual
it's
chocolate.
sexual, baby.
Oh, baby. We got sexual chocolate Mark Henry. One reign from August 23rd of 99 to September 26th of 99. Total days 34. Notable defense was against Steve Blackman. I do remember Mark Henry with the belt, but I do remember Mark Henry more for other things.
Here's
the hand.
Here's the thing with Mark Henry with the European Championship. Mark Henry was basically like their test phase during all this time with him, because they wanted to try to see what was going to work for him, and this is one of the titles that they put on him to see if it was going to work. It didn't really fit for him, because I mean he's one of those guys where he's meant for an upper echelon title. I'm not going to just say automatically the world like a Brock Lesnar, but he's somebody who you can't go any lower than an Intercontinental Championship for him. It wasn't necessary to put it on him. I mean, I'm pretty sure at that point, with him doing the sexual chocolate gimmick, because of how over it was, it's like, hey, let's go ahead and just throw the title on him, like they did with a Godfather, like they did with a Val Venis. It's just one of those things that becomes a prop for them. So there's nothing that he really did as a champion like that. So, because it's easily forgettable, in my opinion.
I'm totally fine.
Oh, Mark, I don't want it.
I'll put him in dumpster juice, in my opinion. or Rain was over too soon. One of the two. Rain was over too soon. That's where I'd like to put him more.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
My conscience can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My conscience is better with. All right. The second Eurocontinental champion.
Oh, baby. We got the American hero, the living legend, affectionately known on the internet as Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, one reign from February 8th of 2000 to April 2nd of 2000. Total days 54. Notable defenses: Chris Jericho and Taz. And see, what does he have on both of his shoulders right there, ladies and gentlemen? 2 belts. And what did we just mention about one HBK with having 2 belts? See how that formula just keeps on formula with that Steiner man? Influential. Now, of course, did more for the title than it did for him with Kurt Angle, but still, they was building Kurt up to be Kurt Angle.
I'm gonna say this because this is probably one of the main reasons why one of the guys on here doesn't get the necessary respect that he deserves, because everybody remembers Kurt having these 2 belts during his storyline going into WrestleMania, where he actually lost both the Intercontinental and the European Championship respectively to Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. The issue I have with this is because seeing Kurt walk around with both those titles around his waist is a good image by all means. However, he's only the second person to do that, because the first person doesn't get the recognition he deserves amongst the universally. Now, the hardcore fans, the IWC, they're all going to universally say the same thing about this person when we get to him down the line. But yeah, it's Kurt absolutely is going in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he did do more for that. Shout out to Bob Backlund during that time too. I can tell you before we even get to him, or before we even pull up the stats, this is dumpster juice. Absolutely.
All right, well, next up we got JEWF Jeff Jarrett with 1 reign. Damn, I was about to get a whole speed up, but this motherfucker only had
1 day. 1 day.
August 22nd of 99 through August 23rd of 99. Total days 1 and no notable defense. Well, hey, ain't no need to talk about this anymore. You going right next to me.
Yeah. Again, a lot of these damn reigns didn't anything. Jeffrey Nero Hardy.
Jeffrey Hardy, 1 reign. Damn. July 8th of 02 to July 22nd of 02. Total days 14. Notable defenses. William Reeves. Well, we know where to put him too. Unless y'all have a rebuttal. We know where to put that too.
No. Because this was during the time where they were still trying to push Matt Hardy over him.
Yeah.
And they were still trying to gauge everything. So had it not been for Taker, Matt Hardy would have been a multi-time world champion in WWE. No question.
Hey guys, y'all know what y'all should do? Stand back, because there's a hurricane coming. Shout outs to Greg Hams. 1 reign. Okay, 1 reign, August 27th of 01 to October 22nd of 01. Total days 56. Notable defenses Spike Dudley. And to quote Hurricane Hams, what's up with that?
Well, because he survived all of his title reigns.
Okay.
Either he won by DQ or whatever. It was just it's one of these situations again. You have a character who is melding with the fans, and everybody's liking him and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, let's go ahead and put a title on.
Hey, you can put
the European
number, all of that down there next to Jeff. He has very more noticeable appearances. Now, there's no secret that this next man is my favorite wrestler of all time. I mean, no secret whatsoever. Go on, click him up there. We got Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, the Blue Blood, Cerebral. Well, he wasn't all that then, but I ain't gonna run down all the other stats. 2 reigns from December 11th of 97 through January 20th of 98. Then he got it back March 16th of 98 through Damn, I didn't realize he had it that low. Through July 14th of 98, total days, 160, noticeable defenses, Owen Hart. Now, of course, this is a byproduct of his legendary match with Shawn Michaels. And this was solely a vehicle to get DX over.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at Triple H's title reign is how I akin to Dean Ambrose's title reign with the U.S. title. So we can say definitely did more for the title.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. No question with that. There might be a question with this one though.
Next up, we got one of the most influential wrestlers of our time, made Latino Heat, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero, with 2 reigns from April 3rd of 2000 to July 23rd of 2000. Then the second reign was from April 1st of 01 through April 24th of 01. Total days, 134. Notable defenses, we got Chris Jericho, S.A. Rios, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, D'Lo Brown, Kurt Angle, Crash Holly, Test, and Grandmaster Sexay. Huh. All right. I don't know. Edward might have to be in the conversation.
It might be best of the best are in the conversation.
I'm
good with either one.
And here's the reason why Eddie Guerrero is so beloved, because his character supersedes a lot of the stuff that he does because he's such a monumental character. You tend to forget just how good he is.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons why WWF at the time had so much faith in him. And so when you look at these stats, you start to see why. I can't do anything less than the best of the best, because with
Eddie Guerrero is what AJ Styles is now.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, hey, you ain't even got to worry about what we put next up, because I said this at the beginning of the video, but go ahead and run that man's stats for him one time. We got that boy Christian.
I'm just playing.
We got that boy D'Lo Brown. Not only do we got D'Lo Brown, but we got the infamous chest protector D'Lo Brown. That man had that chest protector on so long, you thought that was really part of the outfit, especially because he had the finisher. But hey, 4 reigns from July 14th of 98 through September 15th of 98. Second reign, September 29th of 98 through October 18th of 98. Third reign, July 25th of 98 through August 22nd of 99 through August 22nd of 99. Then the fourth and final reign was from September 26th of 99 through October 26th of 99. Total days, 140. Notable defenses, Val Venis, Jeff Jarrett, X-Pac, Prince Albert, and Chris Jericho. There's no, this is one of them people, like I said before when we did the United States tier list with John Cena. Go back and do your science. Go back and do your research. This man is synonymous with that European Championship. That's just simple and plain.
Big facts.
Synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
No. You put him in the wrong spot. There you go.
I mean, it's no question. Everybody would say the same thing about D'Lo Brown. I don't care where you look, whatever forums, whatever social media discussion that you see. Anytime you talk about probably the greatest European champions, D'Lo Brown is always in the conversation.
Anything less, you're wrong. There is no opinion on this one. Anything less than that, you're wrong. Unless D'Lo himself says it. If you besmirch D'Lo with the European Championship, there is no opinion. You're wrong.
Because he was one of those people during that time, especially with everything flip-flopping with all these titles. He was the one person who was always synonymous with that title and the person that they always trusted with that title. He was always that go-to guy who you just throw that title on and he'll put on him. Even if you didn't remember whatever D'Lo Brown did at that time because of everything else was going on, he was always floating around being that one person who was dedicated enough to give you a whatever match that was going to keep everybody at bay. So, I mean, and I hate to go from such a high to such a low.
Oh no, it's fine because I mean it happens. It happens. We got the master of the diamond cutter. It's me. It's DDP. Diamond Dallas Page with Roman Reigns from January 29th of 02 through March 19th of 02. Total days 49. Notable defenses: Christian, Haku, and Lance Storm. I really don't remember DDP with that belt.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
And I gotta put DDP there.
Okay.
Because he never got a fair shake. And the opposite of what happened with Jeff Hardy that Undertaker did. Undertaker actually hurt DDP's career in WWE.
Well, that was their fault for making DDP a stalker in the first place.
Yeah.
That was just a terrible character. That
was their fault.
Scoot, it's
good old
your greatest hardcore champion of all time.
You got the greatest hardcore champion of all time. Argue with your mama on that. With one reign from December 2nd to 2000 to December 4th of 2000. I think he accidentally put 01, but 2000. Total days 2.
This is going.
This
is going straight.
May he rest in peace to the greatest hardcore champion of all time.
Oh, nothing else needs to be said for next person. Oh my god. Oh, this next person.
Everybody's favorite father figure.
Yes, Christian.
Father figure, the turtleneck guard, like Juggs was about to say. Go ahead and hit him with it again, Juggs.
Christian, you're finally on your own.
He had one reign from October 30th of 01 to January 29th of 02. Total days 91. Notable defenses: Hurricane, Also, Spike Dudley, Jeff Hardy, Scotty 2 Hotty, Taz, and Crash Holly.
Christian was one of those guys where you had Edge and Christian, and then you had Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. While they were trying to push Edge so much during that time, Christian seemed to find his way, like on his own without being pushed. Mm-hmm. Whether it had been European Championship, whether it had been the Intercontinental Championship after he got the rub from The Rock. Everything that Christian does is basically a byproduct of just him.
Yes. I mean, look, even when he left WWE, he got his own self over in TNA as Christian Cage. When he tried to come back, it's still just the WWE just still did not know what to do. Then he was like, all right, cool, bet. The concussions took me out. All right, I get it. He came back for that one final Royal Rumble and things, had his final match with Orton, went to AEW. At first, when he was in AEW, it was like, I don't know, it was looking kind of sketchy. And Christian was like, I got you. Just hold on for a second. That man came back as the patriarchy, the turtleneck god.
He's the greatest father. He's the greatest father figure out there. Oh my god. I wish I had a father like Christian Cage. Oh my god. He's the best. He's the best of the best. He has to go for the best.
Wherever you want to slot Christian is totally fine.
Y'all said best of the best?
Either that or in the conversation.
Or in the conversation. I'm good with either one.
Let's hold up. Let's look at these stats again, just real quick.
All right. October 30th to January 29th. Total days, notable defenses: Hurricanes, Al Snow, Spike, Jeff, Scotty 2 Hotty, Taz, and Crash.
Yeah, he was beating up on Hook's dad before Hook was born, man.
Oh, shit.
Damn. Damn.
That's a crazy thing that you can say. That the man that who I'm currently having a program with was wrestling my dad before I even got here. That's crazy.
Just for that has to go in the best of the best.
Like, that's a crazy stat. Like, that's some LeBron James type shit.
You know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Next up, we got the second greatest Intercontinental Champion ever. Yeah, I said it. Argue with your mama. Second greatest Intercontinental Champion, because we all know who the greatest Intercontinental Champion is. I mean, the man held the belt for 666 days. I mean, there's no denying it. With one reign that lasted a staggering one day between the days of April 2nd of 2000 to April 3rd of 2000. And not now, nobody is his number one defense. Hey, Chris, we know what we can put you at with this one, big dog.
Dumpster juice.
And that's because he won it from Kurt Angle at WrestleMania and lost it the next night to Eddie Guerrero.
Also, you know, it also needs to be in dumpster juice. I mean, it's kind of a sidebar. You know, the current stuff what Jericho's doing right now with the ROH style, that's dumpster juice also. The whole stuff he's doing.
Hey,
and also, hold on, Ring of Honor titles should not be on AEW television because I don't give a fuck about Ring of Honor right now. It doesn't mean anything to me right now. But that's
I'm gonna agree with Juggs on this one, and I'm gonna just say this as a sidebar. I do not give a flying fuck of what it does for storylines. Mm-hmm. Stop bringing up dead relatives.
Well,
because I'm halfway pretty sure Mark Briscoe wants to smack true fire out of Jericho. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they probably had conversations and all that. I don't give a fuck. Stop bringing up relatives that pass for storylines.
And also, Jericho
really not cool.
Has ever faced Jay Briscoe. So unless he faced him, yeah, maybe he could say something out of his mouth, but he's never faced him at all in his career. But that's
bringing up relatives that pass. The shit ain't cool.
Yeah.
Unless you're Christian.
Unless you're Christian, Cage.
Unless you're Christian, because it's done creatively. It's done creatively. He's the only one that gets the pass. The only one.
Well, then here's somebody that has passed.
R.I.P. to the British Bulldog with 2 reigns from February 26th of 97 through September 20th of 97. Second reign was October 26th of 99 through December 12th of 99. Total days 253. Notable defenses was against the Godfather. Damn, he had
253 days. Wow.
Shit, I mean,
I had to.
Bulldog is gonna be either 1 or 2.
I put him in the conversation.
Wasn't this? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't this supposed to be like his championship per se?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yes.
Okay, if it was
is why
his championship, then I'll put him in the best of the best.
I was like, what is supposed to be like?
We can't. No, we can't put him in best of the best.
No, we can't.
Because he was done wrong by Shawn Michaels. Because this is what I was talking about earlier, where I was like, Shawn Michaels didn't have a reason to win that title because it just didn't make sense. That belt was solely at the very beginning was basically meant for British Bulldog. However, Shawn politicked and got his way. Now, also during this reign as well, I think it was the second reign. No, sorry, it was probably the first reign. A lot of this stuff, DQ finishes. Kind of the same thing with Owen Hart. It's weird because I can't put him in dumpster juice because it's.
I would say he did more for the title than he did for. I don't know. I'll be the man.
It was ironically they would put him in the gray area to throw him in the middle, even though.
Yeah.
Next up, we got that boy. Well, sorry.
There's not one person watching this.
He was just Bradshaw, because I was just about to get ready to say I 1000% do not remember Bradshaw having the European Championship, but he did have one reign from October 22nd of 01 through October 30th of 01, 8 days. Notable defenses of who better than Chris Canyon?
Well, that day Bradshaw was better.
Because I do not remember.
It's okay. You're not the only one. Absolutely in dumpster juice. And then we end this.
Al Snow.
Last but not least, what does everybody want?
Head.
Al Snow. That's what everybody wants. Hey, we try to keep it as family friendly as possible.
Demonetized.
All right, Al Snow with one reign from August 29th of 2000 to October 16th of 2000. Total days 48. Notable defense: Taz, X-Pac, Test, and Albert. Shit, I don't remember his reign like that either. So 100%, whatever y'all decide.
You know, cool. I remember him doing more stuff. You know what he did with Head. I remember that a lot more than I remember him holding the title.
I definitely do not remember him holding the European.
This is when they were during that time they were taking him serious. They were trying to take him serious.
Okay.
So for reference, I'm gonna put him in reign over too soon because
cool with that, yeah.
Al Snow was he was middle of the road in terms of being over with the fans and having good ring work as well. So there was nothing that was wrong with him. It's just with him, kind of the same thing with Tess. You are a smaller fish amongst bigger fish during that time. So
you know what?
You're just being overshadowed.
Shout outs to my lesson Stephanie Ninja Aranya. She said one of the things very profound, and we can use it with wrestlers, is who you standing next to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing with wrestling, especially in those time frames. We're talking about between that 98 to 01 is who we standing next to. We know if you're standing next to Stone Cold, you better be Rock, you better be Kurt Angle, you better be The Undertaker,
you better be Triple H.
Triple H, Shawn, who else was a main eventer at that time? That was really it.
Undertaker, Mankind,
because if we put in Stone Cold here, you have to be pretty much there to be next to him. And in that middle range, in that middle range of people who might have been bubbling, who was ready to blow, that's where Jeff got over on Matt, because though they were both the hot topic kids, Jeff was the one who was jumping off of shit. Jeff triggered an inner craziness in people, like, oh shit, if he could jump off of shit, I can jump off of shit too. Look at your Darby Allins and shit like that. Motherfuckers who want to just jump off of shit. So a lot of these guys, they had to find their way, and unfortunately for a lot of them, it did not work out.
Yeah.
And I noticed the trend with a lot of these title reigns. A lot of them ended with a lot of their matches ended with DQs, and especially around this time period. And, that equals lazy booking. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you got to think if you got to look at it this way: if all of your brain power was allocated to the main events, you're like, oh shit, we do have 100-something other people we got to think about. Have them go do that with that and figure some shit out. Because all your brain power was used on the main event.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why you had people like Stone Cold who would open the show, close the show, be out throughout multiple segments of the night and shit like that, because it was their time to rule. You know, now if we looking at wrestling now in WWE, there has to be some time spent to think about the card as a whole compared to the shows were carried by what antic Stone Cold and McMahon are gonna do. Oh shit, what spooky shit Taker doing? Oh shit, what disrespectful things DX doing this week? Because once again, DX got a lot of us in trouble back in middle school because we was all, you know, so it's just one of those things where if you look at WWE at that time, a lot of wrestlers. Hell, even looking at this list, look at what, and I know we're going off on another tangent, but hey, this could be another little quick video. Look at what Bradshaw had to do to be a superstar. Look at what Chris Jericho had to do to be a superstar. 3 count, Shane Helms couldn't do that. Nope, he had to rebrand himself as a superhero to get over. Jeff Jarrett never really got over, but before he left, he did have that program with China that boosted China. Look at what Mideon had to do. Still never worked. Owen Hart, yes, he is a byproduct of the Hart Foundation, but they had this motherfucker like Gohan. When Gohan became the Great Saiyan Man, he became the Blue Blazer. May he rest in peace. Perry Saturn, Jesus Christ. Talk about bad breaks, and once again, who you standing next to? He stood next to Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. How the fuck was you supposed to succeed standing next to them two? Mike Dudley had to take these stupid ass bumps for him to even be noticeable. Al Snow had to walk around with a goddamn mannequin head. DDP, Jesus Christ, they did him dirty. Mark Henry, thank God, Mark Henry's size and Mark Henry him in the Hall of Pain, because who boy, sexual chocolate, rough.
I mean,
test. Go ahead.
No, I would say that. I mean, Mark Henry she struck gold with the House of Pain stuff. I'm glad, but sexual chocolate could have been something.
Don't get me wrong, it could have been something, but at that time, it was like, oh, this is rough.
Oh, I love that. Rough. I'll never forget that retirement speech from Mark Henry when he took out John. No,
his salmon jacket. Nobody will.
With the steel.
I mean, look at Test. We went to a whole diatribe with Test about why Test was never that. British Bulldog. Yeah. British Bulldog had the tools to be him. It just didn't work out. Triple H. Triple H is one of the few byproduct of who he stood next to, but he put in his own work ethic. Because when Shawn went out for his back injury, and they was like, hey, we're giving you the keys to the kingdom now. What you gonna do with it? Look at him now. Literally have the keys to the kingdom. Kurt Angle. When Kurt Angle first came, we was like, man, we don't know about this 3 eyes and all that bullshit, but Kurt Angle did what he needed to do to be Kurt Angle. Shano. Yeah, you miss his son, but what he had to do, jump off of shit. Shawn Michaels, I mean, less than said about Shawn Michaels. I mean, fucking Shawn Michaels. Val Venis, fuck him. RVD, RVD was gonna be RVD. He's the whole fucking show. I mean, and once again, what I say earlier about gimmicks and catchphrases, he had RVD. To this day, everybody loves to RVD. X-Pac, we spoke about 20 minutes on X-Pac. Christian had to leave. This is for those who are unaware. Vince McMahon didn't like Christian so much. He wanted to put a blue dot over his face when he wrestled, because he didn't like Christian. So that just lets you know. Eddie Guerrero, I mean, the more you can say about Latino heat, lie, cheat, and steal, the man was one of the biggest showmen wrestling has ever seen.
Big facts.
Matt Hardy, he tried, but once again, Matt was in the shadow of his little brother. But when he left, started making his own way, fuck that big money Matt shit. But when he became broken, gold. Then he stopped being broken, kind of became normal again. It was like, all right, cool, whatever. We really want to see what your brother's doing.
What about the HFO?
Oh my God, no.
Then we got William Regal. William Regal, to this day, when people really list favorite wrestlers, I think they tend to forget William Regal in his legacy. The man has always been amazing. And then of course D'Lo Brown. D'Lo, once again, looking at this list, if you take out Shawn, you take out Trips, you take out Kurt, who else? Technically we can say JBL and Eddie. I think that's everybody. Everybody had to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Everybody had to figure. Oh, sorry, Chris Jericho. He definitely figured it the fuck out. But everybody had to figure. Oh, and Bradshaw. Everybody had to figure it out because once again, even if you're looking at that time, if Bradshaw and Farouk didn't have APA, they would not be where they were. Because APA, when they broke away from the Ministry of Darkness and they just became the Acolyte Protection Agency, many people probably don't even know what the APA stood for until I just said it. But when they became the Acolyte Protection Agency, it was interesting to see them back there gambling, having fun, drinking beer, and wrestlers being like, hey, I'll pay you $500 if you just go beat up on somebody. Farouk, we got a job to do. People had to find their gimmicks to quote unquote get themselves over, and it worked for some. It propelled some to the stratosphere, and then for others, it was just like
it was dumpster juice.
It was dumpster juice. But that's always truly been the bad break when it came to wrestling, especially if we're talking about from 97 to 01. Always been a bad break for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that was my rant.
Yeah, that was actually smart. You went all the way back and then finally found a way to end off of D'Lo Brown.
I mean, you messing with the pyramid now. You know what I'm saying?
But to recap, starting from the top, best of the best, how we have it. D'Lo Brown, no question there. William Regal, Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Christian, everybody's favorite stepfather. In the conversation, we only got two. That's X-Pac and RVD. Did more for the title than it did for them. Of course, we have Val Venis, Shawn Michaels, Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and British Bulldog. Those who had a reign over that was either too soon or just didn't get the good end of the stick on that one. We have Tess, Mark Henry, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, as well as Al Snow. And then, of course, last and certainly least, Dumpster Juice, Spike Dudley, Perry Saturn, Owen Hart, Mideon, Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, the Hurricane, Crash Holly, Chris Jericho, and Bradshaw. That's our European champions list that we have ranked from top to bottom. It's our opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. Make your own video, make your own tier list. It's not about you, it's about us. We took the time to make this, and that's what it is. If you like it or dislike it, that's fine. Leave a comment, concern down below, and let us know how you feel, or if you would put somebody in a different spot, as well as why you would do said thing. But with that said, if my compatriots don't have anything else to add, Juggs, Scoot.
That's it. It is what it is.
I think I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and warm it up real quick. Just a little.
It's been a while since I did this. Oh my god.
Oh, is it? Well then, what a good bada 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 bam. Like I said, whether you loved it, hated it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave all your comments, concerns, questions down below. Make sure you tag the notification bell. tag that subscribe button, tag anything else that's going to allow you to catch all these videos whenever they drop. And as always, until you see these handsome faces and hear these immaculate voices, we bid you all adieu. And until next time, you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mother.
Guns up.
Tag the. Oh wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Tag the fucking out.
Dollars make a way to make a change. Gotta be insane to make them same mistakes again. So I'm switching lanes.